Well, good afternoon. My name is Dan Weedin, and you are watching Weedin Unleashed on December 8th, 2014. Actually, you may be watching it at a later date. This is my weekly Weedin Unleashed event, a broadcast on my Google Hangout. And I thank you for watching, whether you are going to be watching live or whether you are watching this at a later time. That's the beauty of technology. We'll be doing this every week, and I'm glad you joined us today. Again, today is December 8th. Whenever you're watching this, that's fine. The topic for today will be on my December 8th extra points. So let me talk a little bit about that first. Every Monday, I come out with my weekly newsletter, a memo, a mailing that goes out that's supposed to be filled with inspiration, I hope, for you during the course of the week. And this is our opportunity to chat about it. And I just realized I forgot to put the questions and answers up. Okay, that should be up now. Okay, so this is meant to be interactive. I just put up the questions and answers. I forgot to do that. So if you are out there live and you do have some questions, or if you want to make some comments, you are welcome to do that. This is meant to be interactive. So again, this broadcast is based off of my extra points. If you're not getting my extra points, I encourage you to. There's two easy ways you can do that. You can go to my website at www.danweedin.com and sign up for the newsletter there, or you can email me at dan@danweedin.com. I'm happy to do that as well, and just let me know you want to get signed up to extra points. Another easy way to know about these broadcasts are to connect with me on Google+. You will not only get knowledge about this, but you'll get my extra points there as well as on any of my social media platforms, specifically on Twitter at Dan Weedin, or connect with me on LinkedIn. So anyway, glad to have you here today. We're going to be discussing a topic that really just kind of popped into my head last Friday. Let me explain. I was driving back. I was down in Portland. I live in the Seattle area, and I was down in Portland for a 3-day conference. It was a continuing education conference. And it ended at 5 o'clock on Friday, and my drive back is about 3 to 3.5 hours. So that's a long ride after 3 days at a conference in the evening. And one of the ways that I enjoy spending that time is listening to music. Well, you can call me sentimental at heart, but I like to listen to Christmas music in the Christmas holiday season. So I had found a local Portland area station that was playing Christmas music all the time. And as I was driving up through area around Battleground, Washington, just a few miles north of Portland, I started kind of singing along to a tune that was being sung by Nat King Cole, the great legendary American singer Nat King Cole. And so as I was listening to it and singing along, "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," I believe was the tune, it dawned on me that Mr. Cole had passed away a long time ago. And as I did a little research for my extra points, I found out that we are approaching the 50-year anniversary in January. January 15th, I believe, 2015 will mark 50 years from the death of the great Nat King Cole, just a couple weeks after my 50th birthday. And but at the time I knew he'd been gone a long time. Yet here we are, 50 years later, listening to his music. Now the same can be said for such luminaries as Frank Sinatra and John Lennon and a whole lot of other folks. But Nat King Cole, dead half a century, yet the value that he provides his audience, his listeners, with his brand, it carries on not only well after his death, but probably for eternity. And so it made me think a little bit about what we do. Now, unless you're a crooner like Nat King Cole, if you're more like me, you have some sort of a business career. And so what's your legacy there? What kind of brand are you giving out there and putting out there to your audience that has that kind of long-lasting staying power? That's what I called it on Extra Points, staying power. What do you have that does that? So if we're not going to be played on the radio, what is it that we can do that offers effects that go well beyond however long we want to end up working? On my memo today, I noted several things. You know, are you someone who helps businesses and organizations to grow their revenue? You know, is that what you offer? Do you create a product or a service that helps individuals or businesses to advance in their business or career? Perhaps you're a coach or a mentor and you're helping others that has long-lasting effects. Do you have a product that brings enjoyment to others or helps them in some way? What is it that you do? What's your value proposition? For Nat King Cole, it was music and his voice, and a voice that is going to continue to be played on radios and on Pandora and on digital music forever, regardless of how long he's been gone and what generations follow. His legacy continues. What can you do in your branding where your legacy can continue? I don't see that we have anybody on today, and that's okay. I know that it's that time of year, so I won't ask for any questions, but I want you out there, if you're watching this, to think about this. And it's a great time of year to do it. It's the end of a calendar year as we come to the end of 2014. We're 3 weeks away from starting a brand new calendar year. Now, month to month, you know, we quarter to quarter, our business should continue on as hard charging as it was at any time. But this is a great time to really start doing some strategizing for the following 12 months. And this is what you should be thinking. What is it that I do? What is it that my company does that brings staying power value to my audience? For singers like Nat King Cole, the audience are music lovers. For you, it's completely different. You need to be able to, number one, identify who your audience is, and number two, what it is that you're doing for them that's great and that's advancing. You know, a lot of times businesses create some sort of intellectual property so that if you retire, we're not going to have you die. We won't do that now. But if you retire or your business just for whatever reason ends, and that happens sometimes with consultants, it might even happen with other business organizations, or even to the point of when you're done speaking somewhere and somebody's watched you speak and they move on. What is it that they take with them? Where does the value continue on, even if you are no longer present in front of them in that situation? It does not have to be for a lifetime necessarily. It might be for months. So if you've been in some sort of engagement with the client and you've given them that great value, and then your time with them is done, how does that continue on? How do they keep working without you being present? Some things to consider: if you are a consultant, or if you're a speaker, if you're a coach, maybe you have a retainer service of some sort that they have access to you afterwards. Maybe you've created a repository of resources and information that, excuse me, that can be accessed through your website. Maybe you're creating an ongoing mailing for specific clients that buy into that so that your value can continue on. And as important, what project did you just do that really, once you leave again, creates tremendous value? Tomorrow, I'm hoping to do some of that for a client that I have. I'm giving a program. It's a half-day program, training workshop on team dynamics. My hope is that the 30 or so people that are going to be in that room, once I leave, will have garnered some great nuggets and information and best practices that they can now take and keep moving forward into next year and the year after and the year after into their business. That's my goal as a speaker and as a presenter and as a consultant, is that when I leave, I've left behind something that can continue on. What can you do? So we are, let me see, we are probably about 10 minutes into this. We don't have anybody here live, so I can't answer any questions. So this might be a shorter one than usual, and that's okay. But I just want you to walk away thinking a little bit about your value proposition, your audience, and staying power in your business. How can you transfer what great singers and entertainers like Nat King Cole have done? His voice lingers on, and we're all happy it does. What do you do that lingers on where you have audience members saying, I'm glad it does? Well, that's my missive for today. I guess my live broadcast on this. A couple quick notes that you should be aware of. I've got a lot of neat things that are going to be coming out here over the course of the next week or so in regards to 2015 and some of the value that I hope you'll find of interest and of benefit to you. If you're not on my newsletter list, please either go to my website at danweedin.com or email me at dan@danweedin.com, and I'm happy to send that to you. I'm also very proud to say that over the weekend, I sent my manuscript to my publisher, Unleashed, my new book, Unleashed, that comes out, looks like somewhere around June of next year. It's into the publisher, and we're moving forward, and so I'm really excited about that. If you'd like to write a book in 2015, whether it's commercially published or self-published, I've done both. Let me know, because maybe there's some ways that I might be able to help you with that. So for now, I think since we don't have anybody on, I'm just speaking with you here at a later date. I want to thank you for being here. We'll be back next Monday, noon Pacific time, and we'll have another edition of this. So until then, I hope you have a great week. I hope you will continue to join me on a weekly basis, and I will look forward to talking to you on the 15th. Have a great day, have a great week, and for now, ciao.